What up, y'all? I'm still out here walking because it's a beautiful day. But talking about the eighth grade bomb threat story, it it does something to me. It brings something out. I need to get that out for me personally. But it also made me think of something else too, of how Black people's experiences and thoughts and ideas. Oof. I almost lost it, y'all. This rocky road almost took me out. Look, that's the culprit, officer. Oh, that's right. Officers don't listen to me. Never mind. I really almost just straight up twisted my ankle. This is like 40. When I was young, I'm doing all this stuff, and I'm 40. I twist my ankle just walking on the road. Anyway, you gotta be able to laugh at life, man. This is why y'all love Black comedians. This is why y'all love Black entertainers. Just gonna be real. You love a nigga when he tap dancing for you. My name ain't Bojangles, boy. Okay? So, a lot of times we, as a society, and I don't mean Black folks, but there are plenty of Black folks who do that. I'm looking at you, Tim Scott. Delegitimize the experiences of other Black people. So there was this whole thing about Ebonics. I remember when I was a kid, and people laughed at it and dismissed it and said it was ghetto. Other Black people too. But the reality is, every language has multiple dialects. Look at China. How many dialects of Chinese are there? Mandarin, Cantonese, a ton of other ones that I don't know. I can't go beyond those two. How many dialects of different languages are there in India? There's Hindi, there's Gujarati, there's other ones that I don't know. I've only been to India once. It was a dope experience. I'll talk about that later. Not in this video. In the US, we also have multiple dialects. When you go to different parts of the country, English sounds different. When you go to the UK, English sounds different. The Gullah Geechee folks in South Carolina, it sounds different. It's a combination of things. There's a really dope brother named Sun. He's like a faculty at Yale or Harvard. I don't know. He's at one of those elite places now. I ain't really gonna go to properly. But the brother is dope, man. You should check his stuff out because he knows his stuff and he's breaking that down, right? So y'all laughed at this person. I forget the person's name who came out and started talking about Ebonics. Y'all laughed him off the stage, right? Dr. Joyce DeGruy, right? If I'm saying that name right, if I remember, talked about post-traumatic slave syndrome. People laughed at her for that, right? But then later we find out that there's this research that really horrible traumatic experiences can be passed down biologically, genetically. Ooh, that sounds like post-traumatic slave syndrome, don't it? But you laughed at this Black woman when she said that, right? Y'all are out here talking in Black slang all the daggone time, but you laughed at Ebonics in the 90s, right? We even got some other, I don't remember the researcher's name, I apologize, but talking about weathering, how maybe our telomeres or some aspect of, I'm not a geneticist, y'all, I'm a social scientist, but some aspect of our biological makeup gets worn down from racist experiences and poverty and all this shit that we get forced to go through. Look, I curse a lot, but I'm trying not to curse a lot on this channel, but these experiences make me angry. So sometimes I just gotta let it all hang out, right? The point in this one is, Black Lives Matter for a reason, right? Y'all want to delegitimize everything that we do, everything that we say, without asking yourselves why. Without asking yourselves, what does it mean to be white? If you really want to understand that, I would recommend a really, really good podcast right out of Durham, North Carolina. The name of the podcast is Seen on Radio. And the second season is called Seen White. You need to listen to that whole thing. Black folks, it'll feel very good for you. You will feel validated, okay? Matter of fact, here's one story I remember from that. It's one of my favorite podcasts ever. They use primary resources. Dave, I forget his Bewin maybe. He does a great job with it, right? And he's got other people. He's a white man. He's got a Black man with him who's really dope, who actually has multiple podcasts, like Uncivil, some other stuff that was really cool. Anyway, I'm ADHD, y'all. I ramble, I'm tangential, I go on. I told you I don't edit these videos, right? Okay, so there's one thing from Seen on Radio where we're talking about how white people don't understand that racism affects you too. If you watched Atlanta, that one season where they had the ghost of racism there, that guy that would come out, and he kept telling white people that y'all are cursed too. Y'all created this thing. Y'all are cursed from this. Y'all share this burden that y'all have thrown on us. It is yours. As Toni Morrison said, y'all work this out and leave me out of it. Okay? So Down in Kinston, North Carolina in the 1800s, don't remember all the specifics. You can go on the website and figure that out in the Scene on Radio podcast. But there was this Confederate general that came down, white Confederate general, came to Kinston, North Carolina, and just hung all the white men, all the young white men who could enlist in the army and the ones who sided with the Union. He hung them, killed them, right? Because they were heroes that stood up against the Confederacy. Racism erases white heroes. Racism affects y'all white people. It's not just us, but you don't realize how it affects you because you're not thinking about what it means to be white. Race is a social construct. What that means is it's not real. It's not biologically real, but we have made it socially real, sociologically real, right? So you think about that story, right? This white Confederate general came down there and he hung all these young white men. But if you go down to Kinston, North Carolina right now, as the episode on Scene on Radio said, go down there at King's Barbecue and all you see is a bunch of Confederate flags on bumper stickers of trucks. I don't even know your own history, man. So why would I expect you to know mine? That's the rub. Y'all, this is just history. Embrace it. Stop being weak. Okay?